All right, y'all, are you looking for ways to up your scalping game? Well, then you have come to the right video, because today I'm going to be going over 3 scalping tips that I think can really help you up your scalping game. These are tips that I used just today in order to get into a really nice short position right here, still in the short, by the way. And while I was also in that short, get into a really nice long position right here. And yes, this is for scalping. This is not for swing trading. Indeed, I am a swing trader. Both of these trades, by the way, are trades that we were looking at. We were planning them in advance in the VIP Discord. You can see right here that the short from almost $50,300 was a level, a short I had planned out in advance in my potential Bitcoin trade setup Discord right here. That trade did play out very well. Right from that level, we came down, we locked in the profits. That trade is still open, and that trade is currently up over 35%. And then the long trade was a long that we were looking at also in the VIP Discord. We can see here that it was actually a plan that I had as we were coming down to this key level. I wanted to see a bullish divergence into the golden pocket. This is what I wanted to see. I was kind of drawing out what I wanted to see. And when we actually indeed did see that, we got a massive bounce from it. Of course, it's a scalp, right? So it's only 1%. But we can see exactly what happened here, where we did, when we got our confirmations, get a pretty significant bounce to the upside. And the way I found these trade setups was following these 3 tips. Now, this video is for people who kind of already know a little bit about trading. If you're brand new to trading, I recommend that you learn first. Go back, watch some of the other videos on my channel. I have a whole tutorial on how I trade. Also, if you want a very intensive trading course, you can check out jasoncaspertrading.com. This course will give you the knowledge and the skills you need to become a more confident, profitable trader, where I actually walk you through step by step the strategy that I use, the strategies that I use to trade, giving you everything you need to know to get started with technical analysis, how I use Market Cipher in extreme detail to find those perfect trade setups, how to have a trade strategy that you can backtest. I even give you 5 or 6 of my own strategies that I use every day to win trades with lots of profits, how to use risk management so that even if you're not the best trader in the world, you can still be profitable over time. There's a 30% discount in the description of this video. Only about 10 people can use that discount, so if you're interested, make sure to do it. Also, guys, if you do want to get into the Discord, where I post my trading setups, where I post my daily technical analysis in extreme detail every day, giving you the levels you need to look out for, giving you the divergences, giving you my plans, check out patreon.com/JasonCasper. All right, so let's get into these 3 tips, guys. The 3 tips are: number 1, only trade key levels, ideally levels that have been planned out in advance. Now, this is very important because when it comes to scalping, a lot of people suffer from what I call over trading syndrome, where they feel like they always need to be in a trade. They can't just sit on the sidelines and wait for that perfect setup. Whenever I try and do that in the past, when I've tried to always be in a trade, when I try and hop on every little volatile move that happens, I always would get wrecked. Instead, what you need to do is you only should trade key levels that you have planned out in advance, and you should not even think about entering a trade at all unless prices come to one of your levels. If you don't have a level on the chart there, you should not enter a trade. And this is talking about scalp trading. I'm not talking about swing trading here or momentum trading, where we can hop on the wave and ride those big swing trades. Like, of course, I'm a huge fan of swing trading as well. I mean, if you follow this channel, you guys know I've been long on Bitcoin from 34.5K. I've been adding to this long position along the way up. It's in massive profit. I'm not talking about swing trading. I'm talking about scalp trading. Okay, you should only enter a trade if price is coming to one of your levels. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse engineer this short trade that I took and I'm still in, and I'm going to reverse engineer this long trade that I took and have closed out of, and I'm going to show you the levels and why I decided that those were key levels, because a lot of people have trouble understanding what makes a level a key level. A key level is simply an area of support and resistance where price has a very high possibility of pivoting at that level. Okay, so the order of operations is you should only think about entering a trade if price comes to your level. So that's step number one. Tip number two is now identifying your environment. You're only going to take that trade if you get your confirmations. Okay, so step number one, only trade your key level. Step number two, only trade the level if you're getting your confirmations. Step number three is trade like a spoiled brat. If there's any doubt in your mind that the trade is not a good setup, just don't even take it. It's better that you don't expose yourself to the market and expose yourself to that risk than you do expose yourself to the market and to that risk and lose money unnecessarily when there's always going to be another setup, a perfect setup in the future. Okay, let's talk about finding key levels. What constitutes a key level? For me, key levels are daily levels of support and resistance, weekly levels of support and resistance, areas on the chart where you know that price has a very high probability of pivoting. Now, in the case of this short, this is actually a naked daily point of control. A naked daily point of control right up here. I was waiting for price to, I actually took two shorts from here. One here, and one here, still in it. I had been waiting for price to come to this level since August 23rd. And if anybody's unfamiliar with what a naked point of control is, I can quickly go over it. Basically, a daily naked point of control is every day Bitcoin is trading, and it's basically we're going to give a volume profile to every single daily candlestick. There's a indicator called Session Volume HD. If you go to indicators and you go to Session Volume HD, go ahead and turn that thing on. You can see now that every single daily candlestick has a little white line in it, and that little white line symbolizes the price where most of the back and forth trading happened with Bitcoin. And once that daily candlestick closes, okay, that area becomes an area of high liquidity where there's a very high probability that price will get a reaction off of that level. And so what you want to do if you see one of these things form is you want to wait for price to come back to that level, and when it gets there, you can expect some kind of a reaction from it. Right? So when this thing formed on August 23rd, I was waiting 10 days for price to come back up and tap that level. And when it did come back up and tap that level, that's where I went to step number two, identify my environment. Should I take this trade or not? And the way we're going to identify our environment is basically we're going to look at market cipher B, and we're going to ask ourselves, how many time frames do we see divergences on? People always ask, Jason, how do I know whether or not to take a divergence seriously? Well, here is one of the main ways you can know how seriously to take a divergence. If you see a divergence across multiple time frames, and I'm talking the 1 hour, the 24 minute, the 12 minute, the 6 minute, the 3 minute, and the 1 minute, then you can take that thing pretty seriously. If you only see a divergence on a 1 minute, then maybe don't take it quite as seriously as you would if you saw it on multiple time frames. Okay, ideally, if we're scalping, the best trades are going to happen if you see it at least on the 6 minute and under. At least on the 6 minute and under time frame, you can expect somewhat of a decent enough move to enter the trade. If you see it on the 12 minute and under, then you can expect even more of a move. If you see it on the 24 minute and under, then you can expect even more of a move. If you see it on the 1 hour, if you see it on the 2 hour, then you can actually expect maybe this is going to be more than a scalp. Maybe this will be a day trade, or maybe even a swing trade that I can hold for a while. So what exactly is a divergence that we are looking for? A divergence is when price is doing something different than what market cipher B is doing. So for example, if you see that price is making a higher high while momentum on market cipher B is making a lower high, this is called a bearish divergence. And this means that although price continues to come up, momentum and money is leaving the asset. Okay, this is not just true for Bitcoin. This is true for pretty much any asset you are trading, every asset you're trading. Market cipher B is showing us money is leaving the asset. We're watching as the money flow. Look at this. The money flow is actually coming down. We're watching as the momentum waves are printing lower highs as price continues to print higher highs. We can see this forming from all the way back here. Now notice something. We don't want to take the trade unless price actually comes to our level. And I did actually short this twice, right? I shorted it once here, and then I shorted it twice. The second time I shorted it live on YouTube this morning because we got our confirmations. But because I saw this setup on the 12-minute and down, I said to myself, this is a pretty decent trade right here. I have confidence entering the trade because I see the divergences on the 12-minute. We come down to the 6-minute, and we also see the divergences on the 6-minute. We come down to the 3-minute, and we also see those divergences on the 3-minute. As you can see, look at momentum's coming down, money flow's coming down. We even can come down to the 1-minute and see that as we are getting to our level, we can see that over time the money flow is coming down. We can see every time the blue money flow wave comes up. Here, let me remove some of this just so we can see more clarity. We can put a line on the blue money flow and see that it's coming down as we're reaching our level. We can also see that over time momentum is coming down, and we can even see, guys, if we zoom into the 1-minute, as we actually do come up and touch our level, look at what's happening on Market Cipher B on the 1-minute. We are literally getting a massive divergence, whereas price is coming up to touch our level. Look at the momentum coming down. Look at the money flow coming down. This is telling you that you have a very high probability of entering this trade with success. And again, for more information on divergences, how they work, if this is a little confusing for you, check out jasoncaspertrading.com. This will walk you through everything I'm talking about in extreme clarity, in a systematic step-by-step approach. This is everything I wish I had known before I started trading. 30% discount in the description of the video. But basically, guys, don't think about entering a trade. This is very important. Step number 1, only trade your key levels. Step number 2, if you are not seeing the divergences on at least the 6-minute and below, you could even say 3-minute. I would say for a scalpity scalp, 3-minute and below. 1 minute is risking it, guys. 1 minute is really risking it. I would say for the safest and best trade setups, you're going to be looking at the 12-minute, especially if you're trading counter trend, 12-minute or 6-minute and below to get those divergences. And again, the way you're going to find those divergences is you want to see price making higher highs if you're shorting and momentum making lower highs. As you're coming to your level, then you would, if you don't have a limit order already set here, as you see this thing forming, right? You could see it forming as we're coming to our level. I personally like to set a limit order here, but if you want to mark it in, then you can wait until we come above the level, lose the level, mark it in. Of course, you're going to have to pay that fee and then ride it down, okay? So again, just to recap, we had waited for price to come up to our level right here, this daily naked point of control. When it got there, we were looking for very specific confirmations on Market Cipher B. And again, we're identifying our environment. If we see the divergences on time frame, many time frames, okay, the higher the time frame you see the divergence, the stronger the signal. But you want to make sure that you see it on the high time frames and the low time frames. You want to be able to see divergences on the, let's say that you see them on the 12-minute. Let's say you see a divergence on the 12-minute. You would only maybe want to enter that trade if you go down to the 6-minute and the 3-minute and the 1-minute and say, okay, I see divergences on all the time frames, therefore I'm going to enter the trade here. Okay? Don't just enter a trade because you see a divergence only on the 12-minute. You want to make sure you see it on the 12-minute and below. Okay, so now let's talk about the long trade that I entered. This long position right here. Again, this was a long trade. Well, again, both of these trades, the short trade, this was a trade setup that I had posted in my potential Bitcoin setup channel yesterday. Right here, there were 2 levels I was looking to short if we got the divergences on that 6-minute and below. We didn't get that as we came up to the first level. We only got it at the second level, so we didn't take the first trade. We got it at the second level. It happened. We shorted it down, locked in the profits so that to ensure a winning trade. Look at that. Look at how well the level is respected, guys. We wick up above it and then boom, fall right down. And then the second long trade that I took, this again was a trade that we were waiting for in the VIP Discord discussion group, where we're just watching. We're saying, look, there's a level coming up here. If this happens, then we will enter the trade. And so what level was that? Why was that a key level? Well, if you follow this channel, you guys know that I'm big into Fibonacci. And we can see that right now, we're actually getting another bounce off of that golden pocket. I'm currently not in a trade right now. But what happened was we had pulled this fib from this swing low down here to this swing high right here. And you know, if you follow this channel, that the Fibonacci golden pocket is one of those areas where it's very, very likely that we get a reaction out of it. In fact, look at this. We bounced 1, 2, 3 times out of that same Fibonacci golden pocket level. And so if you ever see that price is pumping up and then all of a sudden it starts to dump down, don't FOMO into a short if you miss the entry. Instead, what you should do is you should wait for the next long opportunity. You should wait for the next long opportunity. And that next long opportunity may very well be at the Fibonacci golden pocket. So if you see that price starts dumping, pull your fib from the swing low to the swing high, and then wait for price to come to that golden pocket level. And if it does come to that level, then we want to see bullish divergences. Now, keep in mind, if we see them on the 12-minute and below, we can think it's going to be a more significant move. If we see them only on the 6-minute, okay, then we can say, okay, it's still going to be a good move, but it might not be as good of a move. And, when we come down to the 6-minute, what we do see on the 6-minute is just that. We see a divergence on the 6-minute right here. Momentum is coming up as price is coming down right to our golden pocket. Remember, it's best if you have these levels planned out in advance. And the reason I bring that up is because it would have been very easy to miss this trade if we weren't looking at the charts already saying, okay, I see prices coming down to a golden pocket. I see there's the potential here for us to print a bullish divergence on the 6-minute market cipher B. So we're planning and we're saying we're only going to enter the trade if we get our confirmations. Well, what happens? We get our confirmations, we enter the trade, boom, off to the horse races, right? And so basically, if you're looking for those scalps, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to wait for price to come to a significant level. It's very important that you learn how to do technical analysis if you don't know. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. You don't have to take my course, but I recommend you at least take a course. And I also recommend, watch YouTube videos, read books, join Discord groups where there's other experienced traders. You will learn this stuff. You absolutely will learn this stuff. I was just talking to someone today who feels very overwhelmed. If you're new to this, don't worry. You absolutely will learn it. You just need to put in the work and put in the time, and you absolutely will learn it. But once you have your levels marked, then you are only going to enter the trade if you're getting your confirmation on market cipher B. And that leads us to the third step, which is trade like a spoiled brat. You need to be in the mindset that there's always going to be another opportunity. And if you miss a massive move because you didn't have all your confirmations, you need to be okay with that. Remember, not being in a trade and not losing any money is better than entering a trade you weren't confident in and losing money. If you're trading like a spoiled brat and you're only taking the best of the best, right? You only want 10 out of 10 setup, then you're right out of the bat are going to be more profitable than somebody who will take any old trade that they see, somebody who's going to long any old green dot on market cipher B, right? Because if you're just longing any old green dot on market cipher B, although you may win the trade, there's also a very high probability that you won't win the trade. And trading is just a probabilities game, guys, right? Think about it. You enter any old trade. Let's say you blindly enter a trade, you open up an account on an exchange, and you just enter long, right? Randomly. You didn't look at the chart or anything. You just entered long. There's a 50% chance you're going to make money on that trade, right? Because the price is only going to do one of two things. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. So if you randomly enter a long, there's a 50% chance that price is going to go up and you will make money. The thing about technical analysis that is so powerful is it allows us to basically play with loaded dice, right? We are stacking the probabilities in our favor. Trading is all about stacking the elevating factors, the factors that are in our favor, and not taking trades that have deprecating factors that are going to go against us. And so if you are only taking trades that have the highest probability setups, meaning you're waiting only for price to come to a key level, you're waiting only to see divergences like this, on the 3-minute, this actually would have been a good scalp to take because of the bullish divergence on the 3-minute. And look, we do get a move to the upside. then these are the trades that you want to take, right? Don't just enter a trade. Don't FOMO into a trade. You need to have a plan in advance. It actually really helps. And this is something that I do a lot. I do this every day in my Discord, where I draw on the chart. I say, this is what I would like to see. I'm not going to take the trade unless I see that. In fact, the other day for Ethereum, the potential Ethereum trade setups, right here, I said, look, this is a potential scalp setup if we get another pump up and a bearish divergence on the 3 to 6 minute. Right now we have the divergences on the higher time frames forming. If we get one last pump and stay within this blue box while also printing bearish divergences on the lower time frames, then I will look to scalp this. If the divergences are not there, I will not enter. I had drawn on the chart what I wanted to see. I said, I'm not going to even enter the trade if I don't see this. I'm trading like a spoiled brat. If I don't get my way, I'm not going to enter the trade. Well, what do you know? We get exactly what I wanted to see. Bearish divergence coming up to the blue box. Enter the trade. Boom, we drop. This trade was doing very well. Boom, we drop even more. 50% profit, guys. 50% profit in a few hours, right? A really nice Ethereum short. Also, the Ripple long that I posted over a week ago, right? Over a week ago, this was a really nice trade setup, guys. I was looking for this Ripple long. I had my whole plan, exactly what I wanted to see, exactly where I wanted price to come down to. I waited. I did not enter a Ripple trade for over a week until we finally got that set up. And when we did finally get that set up, you know, we got it. Boom, we got the bounce. And right away, off to the races. That trade, by the way, is currently up over 200%. This morning, it was up, actually, yesterday morning, it was up over 125%. This morning, it's up over 200%. It's because I was trading like a spoiled brat. I'm only going to take those trade setups where I know. Now, you can't say that you know. I'm only going to take those trade setups where I know that everything is in my favor. And so if you do these three things, guys, you're going to be much better off than people who are FOMOing into trades randomly, people who are trading by emotion. If you wait for price to come to a level, if you only enter the trade, if you're getting those confirmations on Market Cipher, and if you only don't kid yourself. If price comes to your level and you don't see the divergences, just say, you know what? I'm not confident. I'll wait for the next trade. The markets will always be there tomorrow, guys, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That is what is so beautiful about doing what we do, right? There's always opportunity. You know, trading, she can be tough. She's a tough woman. But if you mess up, or if you miss your chance, she will always give you another one. All right, God bless you guys. I do pray that all of you are blessed in the mighty name of Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus the Messiah. Lord willing, I will see y'all in a live stream mañana. Peace.